Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend a little time with us today. Got a lot going on as usual. So,
yep.
First thing on the list, I think you're gonna go mow down at the creek garden and.
Yep, I've spent. Oh, I got a fly flying around my face. I've spent most of the morning this morning weed eating stuff around here because it just seems like this time of year it takes no time to get out of hand on the weed eating, the mowing, and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna go down across the creek now and mow around that fence.
Well, it's real important to keep it mowed down there because if you followed us for any amount of time, you know, that's part of our deer, you know, to keep the deer out of the garden. And in order to help keep the deer out of the garden, you got to keep power on the fence. To keep power on the fence, the grass can't be growed all up around it. So
that's exactly right.
It ain't just for, I guess, cosmetic reasons.
It's for 50-50, yeah. It makes me feel better about going down there and everything being mowed, but yes, it is very important to keep the grass off of that netting that's around the garden, or else ask us how we know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't, you start to lose power on that fence, well, the critters will figure it out.
Especially the raccoons smelling that sweet corn. We've been there,
exactly
done
right.
that, so.
But hopefully once I get the netting taken down, I get everything mowed down there and the netting taken down and all that, I think we're going to get in there and try to pick our popcorn today too.
What little bit we've got, hopefully we've got enough to eat on anyway.
Yeah, I think we'll be good. I believe we got plenty that we're going to be able to get out of it.
Oh yeah, enough for us anyway. And I got to get my black-eyed peas shelled. I don't know if I probably won't get them canned today, but right. I'm at least going to get them.
Well, I think we'll probably
shelled.
have more to add to it this evening.
Probably.
That way you can have enough to make it worth firing a can.
I'm going to do that while you're mowing then.
All righty. Well, let's go get started.
All right.
Alright, so I'm down at the creek garden and it's pretty wet down here. This mud hole here has backed up all the way into here. But that's because in the last 2 days, I guess actually the last 2 evenings, we've had quite a bit of rain. I think it's a little over an inch total. So things are going to be wet down here. And I got to say that it's afternoon. Like right now, it's the afternoon and the grass and everything down here is still soaking wet. Anyways, what our plan is when I mow this down here to keep up the netting, I will go ahead and mow everything on the outside perimeter. Then I pull the netting up and go in and mow, you know, inside the fence here. I don't always have to do that, so typically I pull the netting up every other time I mow down here. And I only mow down here maybe, I don't know, I think I've been having to pull the netting up about once a month to really keep the grass from growing up around it. And I've actually got behind on it right now. So as you can see, it's pretty tall up around that netting and I don't even hear it popping anywhere. So that tells me that it's most likely because of all the wet grass and the tall grass that most likely it's probably grounding out. And so it's definitely time to get this done. Garden's still not looking bad. You know, the popcorn over there is completely dead. That's why we want to go ahead and get it picked. We've got sweet corn right here that's coming on. The pumpkins are starting to die back. There's not really any pumpkins on this section right here. These were jack-o'-lantern pumpkins and they didn't make any pumpkins, but from the bigger leaves out there that way, there's quite a few pumpkins. Honestly, not as many as I thought it was going to be, but there is quite a few. And then everything else, the peas and all that, have just gotten swallowed up by weeds. It just is what it is there. But anyways, no wonder I don't hear it popping. I left it unplugged last night. So I was just down here last night messing around inside the garden. Apparently I forgot to plug it back up. So I guess that's a good reason why I don't hear it popping. Well, let me get me a couple rounds mowed around the outside here. Get everything on the outside perimeter done. And then, like I say, here comes the fun part. I'll take all of it down and mow on the inside. Well, most of the perimeter is mowed around here. I just can't get where the mud holes are. Like right in here. It's one thing about them lawnmower. They don't like the mud. So now the fun part comes. I have to take down the net and get all that laid out of the way so I can mow around everything else. I gotta say, it's simply amazing how fast this grass grows. It don't seem like it's been no time that I just done this. And it's far more out of hand than I thought it was. So look at that right there. That's was up around our netting. All this tall grass. And you can see where the netting itself had actually kept the grass killed out from where it's got power on it. But still, once it gets this bad right here, it just can't help but ground one out. So you got to take care of it. But this is awful. I just cannot believe how much this stuff has grown. But the good thing is we should be getting into the time of year where if this is not the last time I have to mow down here, this will be next to the last. So I may only have to do it one more time. While I'm over here, before I get back on the netting, right there is some of those giant pumpkins that we grew. I think those were the Deals Atlantic giant pumpkin or something like that. Those were sent to us by a viewer, and they actually done well. That's probably the biggest pumpkin we've ever grew. Okay, well, all the netting is down, so now it's time to go around through here with the mower and get that cut down. A lot of our popcorn got blew down, and we don't have very big ears on it, but we're gonna get something. All of that out there on that far end looks a lot better than down here. And just for anybody curious, This particular mower here is one that I kind of have retired from my mowing fleet. So this mower does not go out and actually mow on the job sites and stuff. I just use it mainly here now at the house to do some rough mowing and stuff like that. And it works good for that. This mower has been around for a long time. I've had it for several years. And now it works great just to use as a mower to do some rough mowing with. Well, that's it for the mowing part of it. Now I'm going to run around and do some weed eating around the post. And that part will be taken care of, and then we'll be ready to go pick our popcorn. Well, I gotta say, that right there looks so much better. I just wish the rest of the garden looked like that now. Y'all know how clean this garden was just about a month ago. I mean, that's how short a time the weeds can just take over. That's why when you do a traditional garden like this, you want to be able to cultivate it plumb up to the very last moment you can cultivate it and keep it as weed free as possible. Because could you imagine what this would look like had we not done that? This right here was one of the last areas we tilled. It sure does grow fast. But here's you a look at our sweet corn here that we didn't think was going to make anything, and I do believe we're going to get some out of it. Our tomatoes are looking really good. We've done picked a few. We got some ripe ones coming in there. I don't know what these kind are, but they sure are pretty looking. There was some cherry tomatoes in there. Even looks like I think there was a spoon tomato there. And then we've got more there that we've got to pick. So next on my list now will be to go up here and get my little Kubota tractor, put the bush hog behind it, and I think I'll be able to, I think what we'll do, since the weeds and grass are growed up so bad in this, I'll go down the outside row, pick it first, and then we'll just bush hog down that row and get the next row and the next row and the next row and so on, like that. See, y'all overlook my little bush hog here. This little thing don't get used for much except for maybe garden work and stuff like that behind this little tractor. It needs some serious work done to it. That arm right there is supposed to go up to the top link bar there to allow you to have your floating going on. But it broke several years ago, so since then I always wrap me a chain around it and use it like that. And it works fine. Especially no more than I use it, but because normally if I'm doing bush hogging, I use the big bush hog over there behind the big tractor. But doing this garden work, this little bitty setup right here just works a lot easier, a lot better. It just works a lot better, a lot more easy to get around.
I had some company while I was shelling my peas, so I didn't get to show any of that. But I got all my black-eyed peas shelled,
and they sure are pretty
for the day. They're huge. They're bigger than the ones like you buy at the store.
Are they?
I think so.
Well, let's play in the jungle.
All right.
We've got 4 rows of corn here, even though you can't tell it. All this area right here, back when the hurricane came through, or the tropical storm, all this got blowed over. So there's actually a lot of corn laying on the ground here. But there's green beans planted along the other 2 rows over there closest to the tomatoes and stuff. All up down through there is got green beans on it. And so we're gonna try to pick the green beans today too.
If we can find them.
If we can find them, and then just bush hog everything down and be done with it. Because it's, as you can see,
it's waist high to me anyway.
And see, the bad thing about this is, you know, right now we're still okay, but if we let this go much longer, all this grass seed is going to mature, and that's just more weed seed that go out into the garden. So we need to get that taken care of. First 2 ears, not too bad. Not the best, but not the worst.
I don't think there's anything on that one.
Shoot, that done got some bugs in it. Anybody curious, this is Japanese hollis.
And it has been a struggle growing this year. If you followed us since the spring, you know that, what kind of battles we've had with this.
Yeah, the weather ain't been on our side, and we got
the crows
pulled it all up. The best corn's gonna be out kind of towards the end.
Right.
This up here ain't much to this.
And the good thing about Japanese hollis, it's actually an heirloom, and if we do like we're supposed to do, not like last year, hopefully we can save seeds from this, maybe.
Well, that's a cute little ear. There's going to end up being more here than what we think.
Yeah. I don't believe that one's no count.
Popcorn is just like any other crop. It's actually, you can taste the difference when you grow it yourself versus store-bought, don't you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I can't wait for that big old killing frost to come. Kill all this grass back.
Won't be long.
All these weeds and grass, my goodness. So I know a lot of y'all probably wondering what the kids are doing because they're not out here helping us pick this corn. And actually, they normally really enjoy picking the popcorn. But since it's got so grown up in here, they're out there playing.
Yeah, we told them just to go play, not get in here and eat up with ticks and everything else.
Snakes.
Yeah.
Which we'll run the snakes off. They'll be all right. That would have been a decent ear if it hadn't whatever happened to it there. That's one of the biggest ears I've found so far. Y'all can find a mud hole, can't you? So they say they're cleaning the grass out of the mud holes where I blew grass in them this morning when I was mowing. Well, y'all are doing a mighty fine job at it, I'll tell you that. They got it made, ain't they? They got it made, that's for sure. We keep on, we're gonna have enough off of this one row to do all we need to do.
Yeah.
But our last 2 years for popcorn just ain't been that great, have they?
No.
We had a wonderful harvest last year off of our popcorn, but we stored it wrong. We got sidetracked with some other issues we were having and forgot about it, to be honest.
Yep, and the bugs got
And
on
the
it.
bugs, the weevils slap eat it up. So this year we're going to try our best not to let that happen. Prior to us planting Japanese husk, we planted a hybrid variety that I really don't remember the name of.
And it did really, really well.
It did. In some ways, it kind of makes me wonder if I shouldn't go back to planting it because we really hadn't had a great popcorn year since I planted that.
Well, like you said, though, we had a good year last year. We just didn't take care of it. That was kind of our fault.
Yeah.
I do like the taste of the Japanese husk.
The taste is really good. It's a lot better, I think, than that other stuff we were planting. So that's one thing we've noticed with the heirloom corns, with the popcorn and the field corn we plant. And I'll show you right here what I'm talking about. It's like this doesn't seal off around the corn cob, and then when you pull it back, all of that right there is actually swelled up from moisture getting down in the bottom of that corn cob. Gosh, that's an awful looking ear. But that'll be swelled up from the moisture getting inside the corn cob or inside the husk. And it's like that with the field corn we plant and this heirloom popcorn.
Well, I will say, though, when we're saving seeds from our field corn, that's one thing we look for. We don't save seeds from something that ain't wrapped tight where the water can't get in it.
Right. But
Like,
we don't
so that's a trait that we throw out. They are no longer a seed candidate as far as the field corn goes.
But we don't see that trait in this, at least I hadn't yet.
No, not in this,
Not
on
in
any
this.
of them.
Typically on field corn, your ear will turn down to shed the water off of it. But I guess this popcorn here is not heavy enough to make that ear turn down. Right there's a good one to show. That one was soaking wet. So that one there was soaking wet in the bottom of the ear, in the bottom of the husk. See how them seeds are swelled up? It looks like we got a pretty good green bean crop. I wish the weeds wasn't in it near as bad and that corn was still standing because the vines are so pretty out in there. They look good.
Well, maybe we'll find us some.
I hope so.
Now look, that one was laid over and it looks okay.
It does, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at those vines, the green bean vines. Run out in there.
I see them. Well, I guess we can go fight the snakes and the critters and see what we can find before you bush hog them. Reckon?
We'll see. That in there's soaking wet. I mean soaked.
So have you done picked through all this?
All I'm aiming to pick through it. It ain't worth it. That ain't no count.
Yeah, I see them pretty vines now. I see them real good from here.
Between the green bean vines and the sweet potato vines, That's took over out there. They having a time over there, ain't they?
I don't like it.
So I believe now we've got to the point where it's going to be more green beans than popcorn. I want y'all to look at something right here. Look right there.
These beans are the Kentucky
Blue Wonders.
Yeah.
They're a cross between a Blue Lake and a Kentucky Wonder.
Yeah.
I believe that's right.
Close enough.
You got you a good little handful there, didn't you?
Yeah, it's right there on the edge.
I wonder if they're supposed to be that big, or you think they've done got too old?
They don't feel too old. Well, I may have enough to can a canner full of green beans.
Well, this method right here has worked great for us in the past, but this year the popcorn just wasn't strong enough
Well, it got blowed over.
to hold them over. Yeah, when the tropical storm come through.
Are you going to bush hog these anyway?
Yes.
Can I just pull this?
Pull it up. That's what you want to do.
Well, I'm just trying to get to the beans.
The corn that's on these stalks ain't no count. My goodness, look down in there, buried up in this grass.
Look. This one might be too big. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, what a bean. Show them that.
It don't feel shelly though. Look at it.
That's a huge bean.
Like it feels all right. Feel it. I'll know more when I go to snap it. But
it really don't feel bad.
No. That's a heck of a green bean right there. My goal was I wanted to have enough to can a few jars anyway. That way we would know. Next year we may not plant jade beans, we may plant these.
That way we'd know how these done canned.
Yeah.
I hate to bush hog them, but it's a mess.
We'll never find them again.
No, this is it. We won't see them no more. After today, nothing but 70-degree weather. I am so ready for it.
The way it is in North Carolina, we'll go from 70, we'll have another like 90-degree day, and then it'll go to 30.
Yeah, probably.
That's North Carolina weather for you.
Well, I don't know if there's any beans in this or not.
Well, honey, I found a whole pile right here that I thought you had done picked through.
Well, you know how I am. I ain't the best at looking for something like
Well, I
that.
told you to get a hold to the vine and pull it.
I can't find a vine. What in the world are y'all doing in the mud hole? Jacob! Oh my Lord, y'all. Oh Lord have mercy, how I miss playing in a mud hole. All I've got left to do now is bush hog down the last row. We've picked it. Megan got her a handful of the little Mexican gherkins. What else we got here?
5-gallon bucket and a half of popcorn.
Yep.
And almost a 5-gallon bucket of the Kentucky Blue Wonders.
Now, I'll have to say that our popcorn's not the greatest, but that right there is a nice looking ear.
Oh, yeah.
It'll do.
I mean, we're blessed to even have that because there at one time we didn't think we were going to get none. So.
I know, that's right. So, I'm going to get that row bush hogged, and I really think that I seen a couple ears of sweet corn out towards the middle. It might be ready.
Maybe we can have that with supper tonight.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
We're having chicken parmesan.
I hope I don't get disappointed when I get out there and find out they ain't ready.
Maybe not. If they're a little young, we'll still eat them. So I think we've got a few tomatoes ready here. We're not sure of the varieties that these are. They're heirlooms. We know that much. But other than that, well, there's some yellow tomatoes. There's yellow tomatoes. Oh, we got a pink one. We have all the colors of the rainbow. These are very sweet. Like sweet, sweet. I don't think I've ever eaten like a truly sweet tomato.
Is it sweet? The spoon tomato?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's other varieties of spoon tomatoes.
Well, they taste a little different than at the house.
Look at these. That looks like a pear-shaped tomato.
Well, I got the big ones.
No, is that all it was?
Oh, that's all.
Gosh, now comes the fun part. Putting that fence back up. There's a lot of tomatoes fixing to be here, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Huh. I wonder what that thing right there is going to be. That almost looks like a striped tomato.
I know. I don't know. Or a dark one.
Yeah, or a dark purple, like a Cherokee purple.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, look what I got.
Not my face, not my face.
Golly, y'all.
I'm gonna throw in your face.
Yeah, that'll be good with supper tonight.
This is serendipity, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bicolor corn. The older it gets, the more you can see that the bicolorness. So we got several good looking ears there to eat then. We got 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 8 ears that I just picked out of there.
That'll be a plenty.
And while I was in there, I realized that there's a lot more just about ready to pick. That we kind of had just about give up on that corn, but I believe we're actually gonna get some.
What we can do is every night for supper this week.
Come down here and just pick some.
Because that's the only reason we planted it.
Yeah, there ain't no use in trying to put up none.
Not unless we just see that it's going bad too fast.
Yeah.
And then I might freeze some.
Well, it's way off. Like out there in the middle, it's almost, I mean, it's ready. Then on the ends, it's still really, really young corn. So like the timing of it is off big time.
Probably has something to do with that pollination too.
Yeah, that's probably part of why that one wasn't pollinated good.
But that's what I mean, because I've already frozen enough and canned plenty that I say we just eat on it and enjoy fresh corn.
Well, if it gets to where
as long as we can.
If it gets to where it's coming in faster and we can eat it, I know some people who will take some. We'll get some to Mama or somebody. Grandma still wanted some more corn. So, your mama might want some.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
We won't worry about putting up none of it. All right, now comes the fun part.
All right.
Putting that fence back up.
And we have to put it back up because especially down here on this creek with this sweet corn, like we said in the beginning of the video.
Well, probably tonight it would be
the raccoons
destroyed.
will find it, yeah.
Between the raccoons and the deer would come in and wipe out the sweet potatoes over yonder. And the coons
there would be no sweet corn left.
There would be nothing left. Just in one night's time, it's all it would take for them to find it.
Yep.
So
been there, done that.
I'll get it put back up if you want to run on back up to the house.
Looks like I'm gonna have to wash youngins.
That's fine. You go do what you got to do. I can get this put back up. Well, the fence is back up. Looking good. It looks so much better now. It really does. Yep, it should be good. I hope this right here will take care of it from possibly the rest of the season. I don't know. We'll see. I may have to mow one more time. But I'll get this thing hooked up and get back to the house. gonna take our popcorn and put it in our greenhouse here. I'm not gonna leave it in here long because it's gonna be hot in this greenhouse. But the purpose of this is to just get it to dry out the rest of the way. Make sure it's dry before we shell it. I'm probably gonna leave it in here about a week, maybe just a little bit longer. I'm anticipating that hopefully next weekend we can get it out of here and shell it, and then we'll put it in freezer bags and stick it in a freezer after we clean it. But anyways, as y'all know, this is our overgrown dehydrator in here right now. So I've got the perfect spot right here. I'm going to pour out the popcorn and just let it lay. So while it is in its drying process here, I want to make sure that it's spread out the best it can be. Don't really want it laying on top of each other, no more than I have to. So I'm just going to let it lay in here just long enough to start to dry, and then we'll be shelling it. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of these that are probably should just be thrown away anyways, but we're just going to leave them. They'll be all right. But like that. That thing just didn't make much of nothing at all. But then we got some nice ears like that one. That's almost perfect.
Yeah.
That's a pretty ear. I mean, that's a good one. Short, but it's still a nice ear.
Well, popcorn's supposed to be short, ain't it?
This Japanese Hullus is. This Japanese Hullus is a little, has a little ear anyways, and a little kernel.
Tonight we're having my version of chicken parmesan and fried okra and fresh corn.
Fresh corn in September.
I know.
And hopefully, probably towards the end of September, 1st of October, another round of fresh sweet corn.
We will eat fresh sweet corn as long as we can.
Because we love fresh sweet corn.
Yeah.
What's on that? The mozzarella cheese?
Yeah, I put that fresh that I bought the other day for the pizza. I had some left over, so.
Oh, that's going to be good.
And then that's my spaghetti sauce, but this was some of the runnier, so that's why.
It looks good to me.
It's extra juicy.
There you go.
I'll eat the ugly one.
Yeah, get one of the pretty ones. I'll eat the ugly one.
Oh, and I forgot buttered toast over here too to sop up the goodness.
Okay. Not a bad looking meal there.
I don't think so. Well, guys, I guess that's going to about wrap it up for today. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video and might have learned a little something. And I reckon we fixing to eat us some supper and call it evening.
That's right.
But anyways, guys, till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.